Welcome back to VyasaTalks, your one-stop destination for all things UPSC. I am Shivam, and today we are diving deep into one of the most crucial topics for your UPSC preparation: Indian foreign policy. Whether you are appearing for the prelims, mains, or just want to expand your knowledge, this episode will give you a comprehensive understanding of Indian approach to international relations. So let's get started. Foreign policy is essentially a set of strategic and principles that guides a nation interactions with other countries. Indian foreign policy has evolved significantly since independence, shaped by historical experience, geopolitical realities, and the visions of our leaders. Post-independence, India's first Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru played a pivotal role in shaping our foreign policy. Nehru's vision was guided by the principles of non-alignment, peaceful existence, and anti-colonialism. India, under his leadership, became a founding member of the non-alignment movements in 1961, asserting its independence from the Cold War power blocs led by the USA and USSR. In the decades that followed, Indian foreign policy adapted to changing global dynamics. The 1971 Indo-Soviet treaties of peace, friendship, and cooperation is the prime examples of how India has navigated the complexities of the Cold War while securing its strategic interest during the Bangladesh Liberation War. Let's dive into a quick case studies of illustrate this. The 1971 war led to the creations of Bangladesh, and India's strategic partnership with the Soviet Union played a crucial role in countering US and China supports for Pakistan during this conflict. This not only secures India's eastern borders but also established it as a dominant power in South Asia. India's foreign policy is built on several core principles which have remained consistent over the years despite changing global circumstances. Panchsheel, the five principles of peaceful existence: mutual respect for sovereignty, non-aggression, non-interference, equality and mutual benefit, and peaceful coexistence. Next, non-alignment. While the world was divided into two major power blocs during the Cold War, India maintains its sovereignty by not aligning with others, advocating for a world free of bloc politics. Next is strategic autonomy. India's emphasis on making decisions that reflect its national interest without stumblings of external pressure. Championing Global South, India has constantly advocated for the rights and developments of developing nations, a principle rooted in its colonial history. To understand how these principles have guided India's foreign policy decision, let's consider a recent example. India's neutral stance during the Russia-Ukraine conflict highlights its commitments to strategic autonomy, ensuring it does not get entangled in the bloc politics while balancing relations with both the West and the Russia. With the end of the Cold War in 1991, the global order shifted. And so did India's foreign policy. The economic liberations of 1991 under the leadership of Prime Ministers P.V. Narasimha Rao and Finance Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh marked a new era in Indian global engagements. India began to forge closer ties with the United States and Western nations, while still maintaining its strategic autonomy. This period also saw the emergence of a low-cost policy aimed at strengthening economics and strategic relations with Southeast Asian nations. The shift was critical in integrating India into the global economics and positioning it as a major player in Asia. For instance, the low-cost policy laid the foundations for the later Act-East policy, which expanded India's influence in the ASEAN region, enhancing trade, cultural ties, and strategic cooperation. In the 21st century, India's foreign policy is guided by a multipolar world order. The focus has been on building strategic partnership with major global powers such as the USA, Russia, and the European Union, while also engaging with a regional organization like ASEAN, SHARC, and BRICS. India's Act-East policy, a continuation of expansions of the low-cost policy, underscores the importance of Southeast Asia in India's foreign strategy. Moreover, the Indo-Pacific region has gained significant importance in recent years, with India playing a key role in initiatives like the Quad alongside the US, Japan, and Australia. However, with these strategic partnerships come challenges. The rise of China as a global power has tested India's diplomatic strategy. The recent border clashes in the Galwan valleys are a strike reminders the complexities involved in managing a relationship that is simultaneously cooperative and adversarial. India's response, which included both military preparedness and diplomatic negotiation, reflects its nuanced approach to such challenges. Let's briefly discuss India relations with some key countries. United States. India-US relations have been significant growth, especially in the areas of defense, trade and technology. The civil nuclear agreements of 2008 and the more recent 2+2 dialogues are landmark developments. Additionally, India's roles in the Indo-Pacific strategy aligns closely with the US interest, further deepening this partnership. Next, China. India's relations with China is a complex marked by the both cooperation and conflict. The recent border tensions, especially in the Galwan Valley, have strained relations. India stands on the belts and the road initiatives, where it has refused to participate, citing sovereignty concerns add another layers of complexities. Then Russia. Despite global shifts, India-Russia ties remain strong, particularly in the defense cooperation. The purchase of a S-400 missile system, despite potential US sanctions under CAATSA, underscores India's commitment to maintaining a diversified defense relationship. This is a classic example of India's strategic autonomy. Neighborhood first. India continues to prioritize its immediate neighborhoods, focusing on enhancing ties with the SAARC countries and beyond. However, challenges with Pakistan, particularly regarding cross-border terrorism and the Kashmir issue, continue to test the relationship. Similarly, China's growing influence in Sri Lanka and Nepal present new diplomatic challenges for India. To illustrate these relationships further, let's consider the case of Afghanistan. Following the Taliban's takeover, India has had to resist its engagement with Afghanistan, balancing humanitarian assistance with concerns over terrorism. This is a reflection of India's broader approach to its neighborhood, prioritizing stability and security while navigating complex political landscapes. India has also engaged as a key player in addressing global challenges such as climate changes, terrorism and global health crises like the COVID-19 pandemics. India's leadership in initiatives like the International Solar Alliance ISA and its contribution to the United Nations peacekeeping mission highlights its commitment to global peace and sustainability. For example, India's role during the COVID-19 pandemics, where it supplied vaccines to over 19 countries under the Vaccine Mitra initiatives, showcases a global leadership and commitment to humanitarian values. This not only strengthens bilateral ties but also positions India as a responsible global actor. To sum up, India's foreign policy is a dynamic and evolving aspect of our nation governance, balancing strategic interest and global responsibilities. As a UPSC aspirants, understanding the nuances of this policy is crucial, not just for exams, but to appreciate how India navigates the complex worlds of international relations. If you found this episode helpful, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to VyasaTalks podcast channel for more insightful content. Also, hit the bell icon so you never miss any updates. Stay tuned for our next episode while we will deep dive into India's relations with other countries. Until then, keep learning and stay curious. Thank you.